Last month was the hottest June on record for North America. That's according to the scientists at the EU's Earth observation program, Copernicus. Both the US and Canada are still sweltering under scorching temperatures as an intense heat wave grips most of the continent. Scientists say Canada's British Columbia and the southern and northwestern United States are the hardest hit regions. Temperatures there have risen to more than 5 degrees Celsius above seasonal highs. Europe isn't faring much better. It's the second warmest June on record, with unusually high temperatures in northern Siberia. People in Sweden, Finland, and other parts of northeastern Europe have experienced unusually hot weather in early summer, while Greece, Spain, and Italy are at high risk of forest fires. The EU study finds the extreme weather can be pinned on global heating. It says long heat waves are a taste of what will come if urgent action isn't taken to combat the climate crisis. Sharon George is a senior lecturer at Keele University in the UK. She says these unusual heat waves will become more frequent if governments don't step up the fight against the climate crisis.
We've been listening to predictions that temperatures are going to be on the rise, and we've all heard the warnings, and we know that we need to cap CO2 emissions, and that will help us keep the limit of climate change within certain checks. But what we're seeing, these records that we're seeing broken year after year, and we know that these records have been becoming faster and more frequently. Events like we've just seen in Canada, that's almost a 5 degrees Celsius jump. That's a massive jump in terms of a record being broken. And what we're not seeing these temperatures going up slowly. We are now seeing these things happening more and more frequently. And this is going to impact us around the world as these systems are interrelated, and we're in uncharted territory now. So we're now past the point of preventing climate change. Now we're having to deal with it, maybe limit as bad as it gets. But now we're using language like climate change resilience, and we just need to cope now and ride through the effects of these events. The impacts can be really complex because it's not just the effect of the temperature that we feel or maybe the rainfall that day. It's patterns over time. And these can do things like affect growing seasons, and sometimes the effects can be quite subtle. So the effects, for instance, on biodiversity can be enormous because things rely on established patterns, and the order that nature responds to the environment happens in a certain order to support food webs. And those systems, we're seeing crashes in biodiversity at a rate that we've never seen before. We're seeing rises in temperature that are driving drought that we've never seen before. That's changing the land. We're seeing rises in sea levels that are driving more flooding that we've never seen on the level that we're seeing before. And this is changing the land. So this is going to impact us in terms of being able to provide things like water, grow food. This is going to impact us globally in ways that are directly related to the way that we're using energy now. This is something that we're already experiencing right now. We're seeing it in different levels around the world. We're already seeing climate change refugees, people who are having to move because their land has changed and their livelihood has been affected. So we're seeing people driven to mega cities that are already stretched for resources. So we're already seeing human migration as a result of these changes. But we're also seeing on a local level things. It's very difficult to attribute one event to climate change, but what we're seeing is that gradual trend where we're seeing more and more flooding, we're seeing more and more fires. So, and this is pushing, this is being seen all around the world now, and it's only going in one direction.